Welcome to Numb Bills Fan Podcast number 152. I'm your host, David Palermo, as always. So check us out, Numb Bills Fan everywhere, numbbillsfan.com. I just got a recent shirt ordered up on the Etsy store. Search Etsy, Numb Bills Fan. Get up on it. Here real quick, on behalf of Grandstand Sports Network, as well as PunchdrunkSports.com, check those podcast networks out, please. But real quick, we have Kelvin Massare on the line. And, Kevin is from Locked On Bills and works with Cover1.net with our great friend Eric Turner. And I was in a little Madden franchise league with him one time. It was pretty fun. So, Kevin, what is up?
What's up, Dave? How you doing today?
We had, we were flossing about Preston Brown last week. Before we get into Kelvin Benjamin, yes, we realized that's in the title, okay? But look, Preston Brown hit a hell of a game, and we were talking about it. Extend Brown now, and he definitely made a case, I thought. Wanted to get that out of the way. Last podcast, number 151. So...
Absolutely, Dave. I mean, you saw him struggle a little bit early on in coverage, and I didn't know if that would become a theme throughout the first drive there, but he did hunker down, had two passes defense, one leading to an interception. He's playing pretty good middle linebacker football. Has a little bit of work to do in coverage, but, you're getting what you see from him. It's just an extension should be coming for him, I would think, but, we got to make sure that number's realistic because we have some players to lock up.
Yeah, so I thought Preston Brown, he's a hell of a player, and what's interesting about this coaching staff is how fast they can translate to the players what they're looking for. And that's something that's transpired through this whole season. And really, I mean, coming off this Bills just stomped out. Bills literally stomped out the Raiders. And I didn't get in there until about 6 minutes left in the first quarter because I was stuck out in gate 3 after I went to gate 2. And, yeah, don't want to talk about it. So, it was actually a great time. But, I was really shocked at how well the Bills just dominated and seeing what everybody's talking about, like Brandon Tate on the sideline get that huge hug and, everybody going wild. And we've been talking about it. The theme, at least that I've been talking, is this team feels like a team. They're all there. You don't know what to expect, and they're all lifting each other up. And they stomped out the Raiders, and then you come off the Raiders, and you look at all these nice pieces stepping in and stepping up. I mean, Andre Holmes with a great reception. Tyrod Taylor, okay, you're going to keep me in the pocket? Well, I'm going to work on trying to be in the pocket. And when he would scramble, he would still try to make sure he set his feet, before I'm referring to the pass to Nick O'Leary that went the wrong way. But either way, you're seeing a progression out of these players, and that's something we want to see. LaShawn McCoy looked awesome, looked like the hammer that we're used to seeing. And there was nothing more I could have really asked. We got the turnovers. I mean, Trey Allison stepping up, Milano, your boy over there, Hyde. Come on. Poyer was out this game, supposed to be back coming up against the Jets. But, I'm just going to – that's pretty much my thoughts on the Raiders. If you want more Raiders thoughts, check out the Facebook Live video. Pretty much on the way home, I decided to throw up the Facebook Live with the fisheye on the iPhone. And you got me, Jeff Knight, the accountant, Drunk Dean, and Tugboat New York. So, check that out on Facebook. And it's a live video, but expect those regularly because I get bored on the way home. We have an hour drive plus. So, I mean, Rodney Schuler was there. Anyway, so roll this in. Man, by 4 o'clock, the Bills traded for Kelvin Benjamin to give away a 3rd and the 7th round draft pick. So, I mean, Kevin, thoughts of, if you want to sprinkle in Oakland thoughts in throughout this whole thing, cool. If not, I don't care.
Yeah, sure. So, getting into it a little bit, into the Kelvin Benjamin trade, you have a receiver who's generally considered a number 1 receiver, top 20, top 25 in the league, depending on the game or the day. You're trading pretty much a late 3rd round pick, possibly, for this guy, and a 7th next year that you got from Cardale Jones. So you're really in good spirits with that trade. I mean, you're getting really good value. You're not going to really receive a number 1 receiver right off the gate like you are from Benjamin with that 3rd round pick. So you're doing fairly well there. if you really continue to look at it, you have Kelvin Benjamin on the cap this today, Dave, for $500,000 for the rest of the year. I mean, that's nothing for a number one receiver. So you really get the benefit of that. So you can still continue to roll over that $12 million of cap space next year. So it really is a great cap benefit. You have him sign next year for 8.5 on a 1-year, fifth-year option, which you can renegotiate. You can do anything you want with that. But you're in really good shape with that trade.
That is such a steal. I mean, you're talking Robert Woods numbers between Robert Woods and Marquise Goodwin's getting less. But I mean, the thing that comes to mind, not to cut you off, but I got to interject because we said this one would be a tight one. So, look, first thing I go is I'm scrolling in my head and I go, because Tom McKillie, the drywall guy, he texted me, he goes, damn, the Bills, you see that? And I was like, I didn't see it. And I get a call, he goes, dude, did you see the text? I go, no way the Bills traded something for somebody. He goes, no, did they got Kelvin Benjamin? I was like, oh, no shit, that's like a big receiver. And they're like, it was going through my head, I'm like, who is this guy? Like literally Kevin, because I'm like, it's not Carolina's Calvin. No, Calvin Johnson come out of retirement. Like, these are all the stupid thoughts going through my head on drywall still this afternoon. And I'm like, no. And then I was like, oh my God. I just started losing my mind. I was like, this team, Kevin, is pulling at my goddamn heartstrings, man. Like, they're getting me. They are getting me. I've been calling him out. Like, Brandon B, better know what the fuck he's up to. He better be using these picks for fucking equity or something to make a move, which is good. And this is what I'm looking for. This is really what I'm looking for. And they're saying that pick was the Cardale Jones 7th, so good riddance. I mean, this team looks so good right now. I cannot believe they got Kelvin Benjamin. That said, the next thought, the hood thought, why the fuck are you giving up Kelvin Benjamin? What's the catch? So, Kevin, what's the catch?
I mean, the catch here is that, you're getting a player that, another team thought to give up on. That's what this team is built on. You have Shady McCoy, who was traded by Philadelphia. Same thing there. Everyone wanted to know what the catch was with LaShawn McCoy coming over for Kiko Alonso, who flamed out in Philadelphia, but ended up turning into be pretty good in Miami later on. But, there's no catch, Dave. I mean, you know what you're getting from him. He had knee surgery in 2015 after a really good rookie year in 2014. 2016, he bounced back and had a really good year last year. This year, he's playing pretty good football. PFF ranks him 25th overall. So, that's still within number one receiver range. Brandon Beane was on Sirius XM about 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock tonight, just a couple hours ago, and basically said he's our number one receiver. He's coming in to be the X. We're going to be able to move Jordan Matthews into the slot. They know how good of a guy he is. He was a great teammate in Carolina for Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane as the assistant GM. So you pretty much get what you pay for. He's well regarded. Most places have given the Bills an A for this move. NFL Network, Walter Football, SB Nation's Carolina blog. 90% of their fans didn't like this trade. They're 5-3 themselves. Bills are 5-2. It was a pretty weird trade. Cam Newton said yes at the end of his press conference Sunday that when in a bind he looks for Kelvin Benjamin, and now he doesn't have him. So. Pretty much a great deal, Dave.
Well,
I don't really think there's anything hidden. It's not like you gave up a first or a second. You gave up a potentially middle to late third.
So, I mean, obviously, but there's also a thing with his knee. There's also a thing, I heard Sal Capaccio, the great Sal Capaccio, was show up in a Bulldog Sal's a man I really respect his thoughts. So he's very, he's not afraid. He doesn't care what show it is. If he doesn't agree with what you're saying, he'll tell you. He's not just going to homer up, pretend he doesn't know. And, so credit to him. But, he brought up a point that, the Bills are all in with this move here. And that's great. At the same time, some people, you kind of mentioned it, some people think he looks heavy. And he might, what about his knee? Because he had that knee injury. Also, I believe his mother passed. And, it's something hard to go through. And it's something that, come on, we're human beings here. Football does not really become that important. You know what I mean? So, I don't know what to say here because it's kind of like an awkward spot. But, these people are still human beings. Okay, and I'm hoping that like when this guy comes in, he knows that it's a good team and a good network of guys, and supposedly he's excited, you know. But man, I mean, the Bills, like, this is a hell of an opportunity for the Bills. I cannot believe this right now. Like, I'm really floored, and I'm all about second chances, and sometimes a change of environment is really what you need because he could be in a funk. You never know. You know, supposedly he left practice, I believe a couple weeks ago. So, something about screaming about his injury, allegedly. This is what I heard. During the press conference for Brandon Beane. So I don't know. I tried to look into it a little bit real quick before we went live, and I don't know, man. I hope I don't think there's a catch. I'm not trying to be negative or positive. I'm trying to stay down the middle. But I mean, this is some crafty stuff from the Bills. So where do you take it from here? I mean, do you think there's any validation of this knee thing, him leaving practice?
You know what? Not really. And if I was, I'm still trading a third-round pick for him. I think he's a number one receiver for short term and the long term. If for some reason he missed a couple weeks here, a couple weeks there, it is what it is. So does everybody. So I don't have an issue with this trade. You can essentially look at it like you traded Ronald Darby and Cardale Jones, and you received both Jordan Matthews and Kelvin Benjamin. So you received your number one and your number two receivers for Darby and Cardale Jones. So I mean, you really can't complain.
I will say I didn't want to rail on him because I don't want to put negative energy out there. But if you really look at it honestly, the game in Tampa Bay, the Bills squeaked out. Okay, and if I'm not mistaken, Zay Jones had 7 targets his way, and at the times that he gets targeted, I feel that it puts, if he drops the ball, which it's all a mental thing, you know what I mean? Like, I thought this weekend was great against Oakland where that kid was up and running, 3 receptions, he was hyped, and his confidence was booming. And to see him progress into what he is right now on a high, and to finally have another guy to alleviate him some pressure is great, because the reality is out of 7 balls, you're catching 2. I mean, give a couple to the quarterback, you're still dropping a few too many. You're killing drives. And, I've always wanted to see the kid in the slot anyways. When we were talking about having Anquan Boldin the same, I wanted to have that kid in the slot anyways so he could have more room on the field and really learn how to polish his routes. And learn how to get open, and that would also effectively lead into more sandlot football with Tyrod. You develop that chemistry because he's got more field to work with. So I'm stoked for Kelvin Benjamin to take the pressure off of these guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's going to. I mean, that was part of it. Beside him playing for $500,000 this year, which is absolutely nothing, you're basically getting someone that can put Jordan Matthews in the slot, Zay Jones in the slot, and continue to help them grow as players. So part of the reason that this trade made sense was you're helping out the rest of your team and your quarterback. So it's not just about the player himself. It really opens up the offense.
Kevin, do you have any more thoughts on this?
Not offhand. I think it was a good day for the team and a really good. See if he suits up Thursday. It'll be tough. Remember, one quick note is he didn't have a bye, so he would be one of the first players to play 17 games in a while. So we'll see if they sit him or what happens there, and see how quickly he can learn the playbook.
I think it'll work out well because say there is something out there, right? Say he needs some rest or whatever. He's got 10 days. You give him, the coaching staff is proven with Deontay Thompson that they are ready to take these guys in and stay out with them until 10:30. And what I love about this team is we talked about it with Marcel Darius getting shipped out. Good riddance, man. You don't want to be a part of the team. You don't want to be a team player. And then word is that players are talking about you to the coaching staff. Like, yo, man, we're not really pulling all the same strings here, are we? Like, So I can't wait for this kid to get acclimated. I love that it's Brandon Beane getting a guy that he scouted, knows firsthand, and it's a very, very, very safe high reward thing. You can't. I mean, keep in mind this is a guy who bought the Percy Harvin jersey. Telling you this, okay? So I'm stoked that maybe because Clay isn't on the team anymore, will probably wear number 13, right? So I can bust out my Stevie Johnson jerseys that I got. I got one off the accountant Jeff Knight for really cheap too.
Yeah, you can tape it up.
I'm not taping it, man. I'll get a number. You know what I'm gonna do? You know what the trick is?
What's that?
You know what the trick is?
What's that? Let's hear it.
Get the goddamn throwback, authentic throwback stuff. You actually don't even have to be authentic. If you get the throwback jersey, you can put whatever plate you want on it. Think about that. So you can probably get like a Steve Johnson for like $6 on eBay, and go talk to a guy who probably knows a guy, who knows a guy who knows a guy to figure out how to get a nameplate put on there.
Yeah. All right. No, I will. That sounds like a great idea for anyone listening.
So real quick though, did you have anything looking forward to the Jets? Because I'm not going to touch base with you tomorrow. The future podcast I have coming up are with Mike Smith, Smitty. He's going to touch base on these NFL trades in general. But, I mean, I have about 5 more minutes left. I'd like to
Sure.
talk really the future of the Bills. And I want to actually talk a thing that I thought was corny. And I have to eat some crow. And I don't buy this culture bullshit, okay? I usually don't. But damn, when things are all right and they're 5-2, I'm like, man, I love this team, man. Like, dude, I'm going crazy. And then you start hearing about other teams, and you start hearing from, players, like certain players fit in certain towns and, environments. Donald Jones talks about the Patriots being like a really, like that doesn't work for a Steve Johnson, he says, So it's like there's an expectation when you come to Buffalo now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, that's true. There's an expectation that you're going to play within the system, that you're going to respect your teammates, and that you're going to come to work and give it your all every day. I mean, with Rex Ryan, who knows what you had back then, and you were just able to do whatever you wanted. So, there's definitely some good there that for the good of the team. I mean, Brandon Beane basically went up there and said, "Yours that you're going to go 6-10 or start 3-5 or 2-6 or whatever. You're not going to make a trade to get a number one receiver in those years." So Brandon Beane's up there basically admitting he thinks his team is playoff caliber and that everything's going the right direction.
Which is nuts. You know what I mean?
Yep.
To think about. I did not think the team would be 5-2. And what I like about this team is when you look at teams like the Patriots and they get these calls early, people are like, "Oh, it's not a big deal," No, it really is, because in the first half of the year, you don't think about the Patriots bullshit calls they get, And for the 17 years the Bills have been sucking this, it's been 17 years the Patriots have been honestly getting calls, and it's like, dude, it's like my whole rant here is really about just like team. You know what I mean? It's like everybody shows up to work, everybody does their job. They're not over emotional like the Rex Ryan teams, and I got sucked into it too. And they get a bad call. What happens? Tyrod Taylor throws like a super great ball to Andre Holmes on the sideline. You know what I mean? The next play it comes back. Okay, fine. You want to do that? That's fine. And the Bills just move on. And what I like is, my point about the Patriots is they were given time. They're always given time every year. Good teams are given time to get their shit together. That way by like week 8, they're kind of humming. You know what I mean? Halfway through the season, they're humming. What's interesting about this Bills team is they're showing that it don't matter who you plug in there. If you abide to the system, you will fit right in. And next man up. I mean, who would have thought Trey Elson would have an interception his first NFL game? Are you kidding me? Against a premier franchise quarterback.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm with you. You never would have thought that would have came, and you have really good depth on this team, something that's been knocked in years past. The Bills kind of traded some of their topper end talent and filled it in with guys that they think fit the system and are pretty good depth players. And that's one thing that needs to be noted is that I'm sick of people saying, "Oh, the Bills don't have depth." It's a pretty easy go-to when you're losing, but they do have depth. They were able to avoid missing a safety, one of their better players this season, in Jordan Poyer. Plug him right in Trey Elston, and you miss a little bit, but you got that depth right there. You get a guy that can come in, have 11 tackles and an interception, and you don't miss a much there. As well as Sharice Wright. I thought in the first drive, I thought, oh no, this is gonna be a long day. Sharice Wright came right in and hunkered down for EJ Gaines, and then you had Matt Milano pretty much almost supplanting Ramon Humber at the starting outside linebacker spot. So that's good depth to me. You have 5 tackles on this roster where many were thought to be wanted by a lot of different teams. That's good depth to me. You had a battle at right guard with Vlad Dukas winning and actually playing pretty decent football. That's good depth to me. So you have some positions there that are really good. Now you have receiving depth, which is just absolutely bonkers to me. That by adding Benjamin and Deontay Thompson, Dave, you now have depth at that position as well.
Can you? Who would have thought that? I was just on the phone with Drywall Tom earlier today, and I was like, who would have thought that the Bills would have one of the best receiving cores right now? I'm sorry, but I think, and I'm including Deontay Thompson based on chemistry. It's there, and honestly, don't be shocked if he's the number 3. Yeah, that's the way I think it needs to go. You need people sure out there, and sure. I like that. It don't matter what you do. It seems like these Bills coaching staff people, they clearly listen to our podcast, because all the things that we say we want to see change, they change. I've been saying, man, you need that true number 1 to take that safety with you. And clearly they're listening to the players. I mean, this is such a great staff right now. They're listening to the players. It's so huge. It's so huge, Kevin. You can't
sure. No,
you can't beat it.
I agree with you. And the one thing you always have to remember is, adding that kind of talent can make everyone a lot better. So, I'll hold off on saying how good that unit will be, but I can say it has some depth now. You have another big guy in Andre Holmes. You have another speed guy in Deontay Thompson. You have a young rookie that's developing in Zay Jones. I mean, you have Jordan Matthews, a great slot, one of the best slot receivers in the league, that you can play at slot now. So you have, and coming to full health. So you have a good complement of receivers. That's not going to be the issue anymore. You have pretty much the only player out is Charles Clay, and he's probably only out for one more game. So, he's really the only injury, and it's one more week. So, you have a full complement of players. You're healthy. That played into this trade too, Dave. If you're not healthy, or you're missing your quarterback or your running back, I don't think you make this deal. I mean, you're healthy. Your offensive line starting to gel. You're running the ball.
I think that as much as we joke, as much as we joke that, I think it's really overrated how much even us, we go, he's gonna know so and so from the past regime. They know how that works. They talk. I'm sure he picked Andy Reid's brain. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure he did this or did that. But at the same time, I'm not sure. And what I'll say is, I think a lot of that stuff is overrated. I think it's such a small community that if you want to dick over a team like that and send over somebody injured, whether you have a pass with the Panthers or not, you just partially burned a bridge. And you don't want to have that rep. So, I'm very confident in Kelvin Benjamin.
Yeah, absolutely. I have confidence, and there's a confidence and respect factor there from the Carolina Panthers as well. So, I'm confident in the guy. Once again, even if there was something there or something happens, I'm confident with trading a third for a really good receiver. I mean, you needed that player on the roster. You didn't give up too much, in my opinion. A first, he would have came with a lot more expectations. I just think now you also, to kicker this whole thing, Dave, you have 8 picks still in 2017, and you have 8 picks still in 2019. So you still have 16 more players that are going to come in the next 2 years. And you still have 5 in the top 3 rounds next year. Two first, 2 seconds, and a third, as well as a 4th and 2 fifths potentially if Darius plays all of the games this year. So, you have plenty of draft ammunition, and you have plenty of current talent on the roster.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I can't really. I don't know. I don't know how this Bills team did it. They're eating a lot of cap next year. They're eating 14 mil of Marcel this year, but if there was a statement game from the Bills, the Bills defense did not let up at all without Marcel.
Derek Carr went out there and said, didn't have anything over the top. I had to dump everything down, and they did what they had to do to beat me.
Yep. So, Kevin, what do you have up on Lockdown Bills? What do you got coming up? What's up? I mean, we got the Jets coming. I'm sure I'll be in talks with you before then, a little
Sure.
bit, at least in text, but.
Yeah, we'll probably have a preview edition of the Jets game coming up, and then might have a day or two off, and then we'll get right back on it to preview that gauntlet matchup against the Saints, two teams that no one thought would be in this position going in. So that'd be a great game next in 10 days here.
I like seeing the Saints good. I got to be honest. I really like Drew Brees, and what I like about that Saints community is, they really do rally. I thought it was all homerism, but they do really rally around that team, those fans. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that matchup.
Yeah, me too, Dave. That'll be a good matchup. And then from there, we're doing a new thing at Cover One, doing some live commenting and live posts. We're going to call that the roundtable. That's going to be right up on Cover One's site. Be quick hitter posts that you can comment on and interact with us, kind of like you all do on Facebook and other stuff. So, we're looking forward to putting that up and launching that portion. It just went live today, so we're looking forward to it.
Awesome. So that's Kelvin Massare, KevinMassare on Twitter, Instagram, wherever you want to be, Facebook, and find him with Lockdown Bills, cover1.net. Find me on Twitter, Numb Bills Fan, Instagram as well, and Facebook. And my personal stuff is David J. Palermo. Come be my friend. I don't bite. And so numbbillsfan.com. Shout out to Grandstand Sports Network and also Punch Drunk Sports. Please check them all out. They support the podcast. And thank you. Have a good night.